Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, and we are this season's scouting staff for the Hula Bowl. This interview is sponsored by Carl Black Orlando, Orlando's premier Chevy, Buick, and GMC dealership. They offer an extensive inventory of new and pre owned vehicles. Stop by today just off of East Colonial Drive. Today I have with me Jack Gibbens. He's a linebacker out of Minnesota. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing well. Last time I talked to you, you were a linebacker out of Abilene Christian. Obviously, you made that transition to the FBS, really made your mark there, which I think is fantastic. But let's just take a step back a little bit so people learn a little bit more about your journey. Tell me maybe where you're from and how you eventually got there to Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm from the San Antonio area in Texas, and didn't really get a ton of interest coming out of high school. My only Division One offer was an FCS offer at Abilene Christian, so went up there, played for 4 seasons, and loved every minute of it. Really enjoyed my time there, but with COVID, got an extra year of eligibility, and I'd already graduated. Thought I might try something different, just ready for a new direction, taking another step and try something new. And Coach Rossi and Coach Fleck took a chance on me in the transfer portal and got up there to Minnesota and just had a blast. It was an absolute whirlwind. Can't thank God enough for blessing me with the opportunity to go up there, but it was a blast.
Sure. So let's backtrack just a little bit, just to chat about your experience there at Abilene Christian, because obviously, they were the ones who first gave you that opportunity. And you went out there and you made the best of it. So chat with me just very briefly about your time there, and some of the experiences that you had with the people there.
Yeah, it was an incredible experience. I think my first year was the first year under a new coaching staff with Adam Dorrell and his staff coming in there and kind of taking over a program that was really struggling. I'd gone 2-9, I think, 2 years in a row, and we struggled that first year, but kind of got the culture flipped there. Just took a lot of hard work from the coaching staff, strength staff, all the players, the leadership, just kind of to get that program flipped. Had the first winning season in Division One there. Kind of got that thing turned around my sophomore season, and then kind of we're just kind of continuing to try to build on that while I was there. But it was an awesome ride. Got to meet some guys that'll be in my wedding one day, and just kind of great relationships coming out of there. Had a lot of fun, won some big games. It was a great experience for sure.
Yeah, obviously some great, talented players coming out of there, and then of course, obviously, making your way out there to Minnesota. So, I remember sitting down and talking with you, before that transfer. Obviously, you know, me thinking, we have this guy here who's got fantastic size and versatility as a linebacker. You're looking at a guy who's almost 6'4", 245 pounds. Really just almost looks like a frightening guy out there, on the football field. So you don't want to necessarily get in his way, or else you're going to get flattened. Obviously, the guys there at Minnesota took a chance on you. What ultimately led you to Minnesota, maybe versus some other opportunities that were out there?
Yeah, I just think it was the perfect fit for me. Just kind of the kind of type of scheme they were running was very similar to what we were doing in Abilene. So the learning curve would be a little less steep with only having 1 year to come in and kind of hit the ground running. And then just from a cultural standpoint, just kind of Coach Fleck, everything that he preaches and talks about, and the type of guy that he likes to have up there, I just felt like fit me and was a great opportunity for me to kind of fit in, because I had some other opportunities, but it just kind of, when it comes to a 1 year thing, you can't miss. And I was just looking for the best fit that I could find. And just just from top to bottom, players, coaches, everything, that whole organization is just the type of people that I want to be around to try to be successful. And so I think it was just a perfect fit all around. So it made sense to go up there.
Yeah, definitely a decent fit for you. Obviously, getting in there. I believe you started all the games, which really doesn't happen too often when you have a guy who is moved up from the small school ranks to really, this this Power Five, very competitive football team there in Minnesota. So I mean, talk to me maybe about a couple of these, maybe just a couple of your teammates that really have helped you, grow even more so there being a Gopher.
Yeah, absolutely. My first and foremost, the guy playing next to me at linebacker, Mariano Sormarin, he'll be back for another year. But we're just really similar guys, just guys that really kind of high football IQ guys that like to watch a lot of film, prepare really well, and kind of understand the mental aspect to the game, and then just kind of guys who like to be physical and fly around and play hard. So I loved playing next to him, and kind of just really we're really nice playing off of each other, talking to each other, bouncing ideas off each other. But I mean, I just could go on and on about all the guys on that team. I mean, just love playing with that group across the D line. We've got guys who will be drafted this year for sure, with like guys like Assezi and Boye Mafe and Niles Pigney, and just guys up front played really, really well all year, made it fun to play with those guys, play behind them. And then guys playing in the Hula Bowl, Coney Durr, kind of a great senior leader on the back end that, I mean, just kind of an undersized guy, but a guy that's super physical and just kind of never backs down. Love playing with him too. That was just kind of the personality of our team. I feel like, especially on the defensive side of the ball, and just a big group of guys that were physical, fly around, and played really hard. And it was a lot of fun to be a part of that.
Awesome. Another guy that we invited, obviously, we invited you to the Hula Bowl. So, I mean, obviously, really excited about, having you down in Orlando. And the guy that you practice up against on a regular basis, in Sam Schluter. So,
Yeah.
talk to me for just a second about, battling really, I don't know, that whole offensive line. I'll just be frank with you, is probably one of the best in the country. So, like,
Yeah.
talk to me about like matching up against them like on a regular basis.
I mean, yeah, I can't give those guys enough credit. If you look at, I mean, I think we had 5 or 6 100-yard different guys rush for over 100 yards this year. Lost our first top 3 tailbacks, and had 2 freshmen in there carrying the ball for over 500 yards each. And so that just speaks to the physicality and kind of dominance of that offensive line. It was a very experienced group. A lot of guys playing their last college football, had been playing for a long time, but just big, physical, just guys who just kept grinding and grinding and grinding. And teams knew we were running the ball, and those guys made it happen anyway. So can't give those guys enough credit.
Awesome, awesome. So let's shift gears back towards you. I mean, obviously, a talent there that we've been looking at really ever since you were at Abilene Christian. But I mean, this go around, we had the opportunity to be the scouting staff for the Hula Bowl, and extended an offer to you. So let's talk about you as an NFL prospect. What do you feel separates you as an athlete? What do you feel is like the best part of your game?
I think that the best part of my game is kind of stuff that won't show up at like a pro day or a combine. It's just kind of the way I prepare, my instinctual nature that I play with, and then just I'm a guy who likes to dive into the film, really understand what a team's doing, and I feel like I've developed good instincts for finding the ball, taking the first step in the right direction, and then from there. It's all about just playing hard and being physical, and I feel like I do that at a high level. So I think that my biggest traits are kind of things that maybe won't show up on pro day or at a combine or something like that, but are things that kind of hopefully will show up and stick out on my film. So.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a player who doesn't have too many wasted steps. Solid tackler. Also a good leader there, a good leader on and off the field. I mean, I remember back in 2020, you were a finalist for the William V. Campbell Trophy, which is the academic Heisman. Being named an academic All-American that year as well. Real quick, bud, let's talk about those academics. I mean, what did you get your degree in, and what are you doing?
So undergrad, I studied accounting and finance. I double majored there, and then I just completed a master's in accounting. So, and yeah, going that route.
Jeez, man. I mean, just double majoring. Ooh, that's crazy. So,
Yeah.
hey, all power to you. Not everybody can do that sort of thing. I mean, I think I just squeaked by college with like one little bit of nothing. So obviously you get a smart guy there in Jack Gibbens. Also get a good quality leader as well. So chat with me just a little bit about you as a leader. Obviously, you're the guy maybe there in the middle, maybe passing, back, cues, adjusting the defense. But talk to me about you as a leader there on defense.
Yeah, it was kind of a different role I had to adjust to going to Minnesota. Obviously, at Abilene Christian, I was two-time captain there, so kind of stepping into a different role and kind of trying to wade my way through it those first couple months that I was there. But I think just as the season went on, I just kind of grew more and more confident, more comfortable with the guys, but just trying to help me along with like another guy who's like a guy I talked about, Mariano already was kind of established as kind of the guy on that defense that people would look to from a leadership perspective. But we had other guys like Tyler Newbin step up, take control in the secondary, but just kind of working with those guys to try to just make sure to continue to keep guys focused, keep guys playing hard. And I just feel like good leaders just get the best out of the people around them and get them to play above a level that they would otherwise. And so that's something that I always try to do, whether it be how I play and go about my business, or kind of having one-on-one conversations or talking in front of the group, whatever it is, to kind of get guys to play above the level they would otherwise. I think shows that you're leading in the right direction.
Awesome. So Jack, I want you to kind of walk me through some of the, I don't know, some of the great moments of your career. I mean, obviously, having a very successful career, at Abilene Christian, and then also transferring over, ended up with 92 tackles on this season, which is great. So, chat with me about maybe a couple of highlights, maybe from each institution, if you don't mind.
Yeah, for sure. I would say the highlight in Abilene, there I think back to two games. The first being one, I think it was my sophomore year, going down to Sam Houston State and beating those guys on their field. I don't think Abilene Christian had beat them in maybe 20 or 30 years. So going in there, getting that win, had a really dominant performance from the defense that day. So that was an awesome moment. And then I'd say the second one would be going into Nichols. I want to say in 2019, who was the defending conference champions. I think they actually went on to win the conference that year, but going into their place, winning a double overtime game. Those are two games that I kind of all remember for the rest of my life, to celebrating with my teammates on those. And then the easy answer at Minnesota was kind of a game that I felt like put an exclamation point on my entire football career, was the Wisconsin game this year, finishing off the season, the regular season, winning that rivalry game. Just kind of a game like that, one that you grow up dreaming of playing in. Being from Texas, that was kind of like the equivalent of winning the Red River Shootout for me. Because I mean, that's an important game to people up there, that Minnesota Wisconsin game. And so winning that game at home, the fans rushing the field after the game, I mean, it's something, there's nothing like that. And something I'll remember forever. Definitely a dream come true of winning that game for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I can't stress it enough, where you have a guy who was very successful in the FCS, gets an opportunity, transfers up to the FBS level amongst probably the most talented, players there in the Big Ten, and is able to deliver. Is able to deliver against teams such as Wisconsin, that obviously, they have a very well established offense. Their schemes are very disciplined. They do a great job, but obviously being able to get one over those those rivals. I mean, obviously, it's just great to be able to do that. I mean, and obviously Big Ten is no joke. A lot of some of the best NFL talent comes out of the Big Ten. So I mean, hopefully that will also lead you to end up being the same. I mean, again, gonna come down to Orlando, gonna perform in front of a whole lot of scouts, which is gonna be a whole lot of fun. So really looking forward to
Absolutely.
that. Obviously, again, like we said, very long, successful career. If you had the chance maybe to, I don't know, go back in time a little bit, give some advice maybe to your younger self, maybe to like your high school, self there in San Antonio. What would you tell him? What kind of advice would you give him, to help him along his journey?
Yeah, I think that over my college career, kind of the two things that stick out to me is that one, don't be afraid to take a chance on yourself, to bet on yourself and believe in yourself, because I think that's one of the biggest differentiators as I look back over my career when I was playing my best ball and when I maybe wasn't, was just confidence and playing with that kind of confidence in myself. And then the second one is just that there's no substitute for hard work. There's no shortcuts on how to be successful. I mean, it's that's the shortcut is to work hard. And I feel like that's something that's been big for me throughout my career, and it's kind of pushed me through. But that's what I would tell people come out of high school. You see a lot of guys kind of used to being the guy at their high school, and then they're at the bottom of the depth chart, and it can be a hard adjustment for guys to figure that out. So I think for young guys, that's the biggest thing you can tell them is just there's no substitute for it. You just got to put in the work, put your head down, and then when your time comes, be ready for it.
Gotcha. Which obviously, you were ready for it. You've been ready for it. Great stuff there. I mean, obviously being influenced by a whole lot of different coaches, throughout your career. Is there maybe one lesson that you've learned from one of those coaches? Whether it be at high school, Abilene Christian, or there at Minnesota, that really sticks with you today, like one lesson from a coach.
Yeah, I mean, there's, I mean, countless lessons. I've had incredible coaches at all levels, especially like on the defensive side of the ball. All my defensive coordinators, who've also most of them coached the linebackers, starting back in high school, Coach Craig Worsfer, and then Coach Jackson and Coach Brown at Abilene Christian, and then Coach Rossi in Minnesota. All have, I mean, had huge impacts on in my life, not just as a player, but I mean, off the field too, just about being a man. And one thing that something that will stick with me for the rest of my life is something that Coach Rossi had said when I first got to Minnesota. Uh, he was kind of talking about expectations for what we should expect from our coaches, and he said that the three things that they're going to do is they're going to care about us, be positive, and be extremely demanding. And that's something that I think all great coaches should be, and that's something I'm going to carry on into being like a father. Just kind of being those three things for young men is huge. Getting the most out of them and letting them know that you care about them and doing the right thing. So that's something I'll definitely carry with me the rest of my life.
Awesome. Really, really like those, words there that
Yeah.
obviously you've gotten from some of your coaches. So, fun stuff there. I do want to meet Jack Gibbons outside of a football player. So let's meet him a little bit. Tell me a little bit something about yourself that's fun, interesting, hobbies, or anything fun that you want to share about yourself. So go ahead and hit me with something.
I guess the biggest thing going on in my life since we last talked is I got engaged to my now fiance Colleen Clancy. We've been dating for 6.5 years now, and set
Nice.
to get married in on June 25th of this year. So that's the biggest thing going on right now.
Fantastic, bro. I mean, obviously, congrats, with regards to that. So, definitely have a lot of other things going on before then, though. So, I mean,
Yeah, for sure,
a lot of planning, but also a lot of this football related stuff too.
no
So,
doubt.
um, anything else that you want to share about yourself? Any hobbies or what have you? Like, some things that maybe not everybody knows.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the most of my free time, I try to me and my roommates in Minnesota really like to get out and play golf. No good at it, but just anything kind of get outside, go to the lake, get some fresh air. Anything outdoors kind of helps me relax a little bit. It's fun to do, but yeah, working on my golf game right now if I'm not doing football, but trying to get better.
Sure. And I guess, since we're sponsored by a car dealership, is there maybe like a favorite car? I mean, obviously you're going to get a chance to, get at the, next level, be a professional, football player, having that money to maybe buy like maybe that dream car of yours. I mean, do you have a dream car that maybe one day you wish to have?
Yeah, maybe probably a King Ranch F-250, but I just drove my truck 20 hours home from Minnesota. I actually just got back to Texas yesterday, so that was quite a trip. So been driving all across the country.
Wow. Well, hopefully you booked a flight to Orlando, so you don't have to worry so much
Absolutely.
about that. About driving. I mean,
Yeah.
so definitely looking forward to that. As we close down this interview, buddy, I want you to take a second and really just kind of address a lot of the scouts out there who I know have seen you in practice and in a lot of your games. They're going to be down here in Orlando. We're going to have over 130 scouts from every single team in the NFL, XFL, CFL, USFL. Dude, we've got a jam-packed event, but I want you to address all of them and tell them why they need to draft you, sign you, and what you would bring to their franchise.
Yeah, I would just say that I'm an extremely coachable player who is not afraid to put in the work, both mentally and physically, to get out on the field, and just a guy who wants to make a team better, make a defense better, can do that in a lot of different ways. And I think that my football IQ and my preparation can kind of allow me to play multiple positions, and just a guy who likes to run around and be really physical, fly to the football. And I feel like that there's no substitute for that when it comes to defense and special teams. So yeah, just looking for a chance to come in and do just that. So.
Yeah, I mean, you just kind of mentioned a whole lot of things that I felt like were good reasons for us to invite you to our event. I mean, obviously a guy with your size, pretty really elite size as a linebacker, almost 6'4", 245 pounds. I mean, which really allows you some versatility, there as a linebacker to play maybe inside or out or what have you, and in multiple schemes. So certainly that helps. I mean, but we've also talked about you being a very hard worker, of you being an excellent leader, setting an example both on and off the field, which I mean, I feel like that really speaks volumes about you as a person and player. So again, really looking forward to you coming down to Orlando, and wish you best of luck.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I can't wait to get down there and get to work.
Gotcha. Once again, you could see Jack Gibbens and a whole lot of other, talented players at the Hula Bowl, January 15th. That's when that event happens. You can purchase those tickets via Ticketmaster.com. This interview was sponsored by Carl Black Orlando, Orlando's premier Chevy, Buick, and GMC dealership. Thank you once again for watching.
Thanks.